Oh, Stuart Nash.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, can I first of all say that I would like to thank the policemen and women on the ground who I think do a fantastic job. But what I would like to say, Mr. Chair, is I just do not think they're being supported by this government. Now, let me outline why. I would like to make 3 points, Mr. Chair. The first one is about the lack of police numbers. There's no money in the budget for that. The second point I'd like to talk about is crime resolution rates, and the third point is a safer journeys road policy. Mr. Speaker, in the police strategic budget from 2016 to 2020, it says there is no more money for extra police. In fact, the number of police, sworn and non-sworn, stays exactly the same until 2020. And when we asked the Minister about this, how she was going to cope with increasing crime rates, change in the nature of crime, i.e. more violent crime, this is what she said. And I'm going to quote from the report. Quote, "We asked how the police can be expected to deal with increasing crime rates, especially violent crimes and crimes against the police, with no planned increase in constabulary staff. The Minister told us that, quote, the police now have access to tasers and firearms to respond to unexpected situations better, end quote. Mr. Chair, arming the police with tasers and firearms is not the solution to solving crime and keeping our community safe. Mr. Chair, I absolutely believe that our police force is underfunded. We have a whole lot of incredibly competent men and women on the ground who are working very hard to keep our community safe and solve crime, but they are stretched to breaking point. And this is reinforced by the Police Association survey, in which 77% of members actually said that there are not enough frontline police. Mr. Speaker, my second point is about resolution rates. Less than 8% of burglaries in Auckland are solved. Less than 8% of burglaries in Wellington are solved. This is not meeting...
Order. Fewer.
This is not meeting the public expectation around the role of police in keeping us safe and solving crime. The police blamed the media. The police came out and blamed the media for MPs highlighting this fact. It is not the media's fault that there are fewer crimes being solved. It is the fact, yet again, that the police are under-resourced. They do not have the men and women on the ground to make sure that the bad guys are put in jail and held to account. Mr. Speaker, the third point I would like to talk about is the Safer Journeys road policy. In the answers to the estimate questions, the Police Commissioner and his team and the Minister actually said there is going to be 111, it's quite ironic really, the number, isn't it, 111, less police dedicated to road safety on our roads. Mr. Speaker, we are one of the very few OECD countries where the road toll is actually climbing. We all know when you see a police car on the road, you modify your behaviour. You take police cars off the road and people speed. And we had the really unfortunate incident of the police minister herself saying it's okay to speed. And we had the very, very unfortunate incident of another minister of the Crown saying, because he got speeding tickets, saying he didn't see the value in speeding tickets. Let me tell Mr. Dunn and let me tell Mrs. Collins, the best way to avoid a speeding ticket is actually obeying the law and driving to the speed limit. Don't speed. You're dead right. But Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, what we have seen is kiosks close, police taken off road journeys, police taken off the road, lower resolution rates, an increase in crime, and no matter what anyone says, the latest police statistics, May 2016 to May 2015, these are the latest statistics, every single measure except one, so 9 out of the 10 crime areas, crime categories that the police measure actually went up. 9 out of 10 went up. And we could just, the government cannot stand up and say that crime is falling because the police statistics paint a different story. What I believe the police need, what I absolutely believe the police need, is not more tasers, not more guns, but more resources. More police on the ground involved in community policing. More police in the stations solving crime, because, Mr. Chair, the only way we are going to get crime numbers down and resolution numbers up is when we get our community policing working well and our traditional policing working well. Thank you.
Mahesh Bindra.